UFC 300, massive pay-per-view card. Dana White has confirmed a ton of fights at UFC 299, 298, and 297. I'm going to be making my picks for what UFC 300 will be. Let's get started with the opener of the Irish Dragon versus Jim Miller. Yes, Paul Felder is returning, and he's going to be returning on the first fight off the card. This is how you start out UFC 300 with the retirement of Jim Miller, the return of the Irish Dragon. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great fight. We'll see who wins. Jim Miller is still doing great at his age, and you know what? Let's keep it going. Yeah, I think that's going to be great. They'll get us in the fields. It'll get us into what UFC 300 is all about. Moving on, two personalities, Renato Moicano and Bobby Green. One's coming off a KO loss. One has had like a year and a half off by the time UFC 300 comes around. Renato Moicano hasn't fought in years, I swear. I don't know what he's been doing. But yeah, two personalities. It's gonna be a fun fight. Let's do. You know what I want for UFC 300? I want a face off between like all the fighters, like what boxing does. I think the one thing boxing does is they do those face offs. I think we should do it for like every fight on UFC 300. Wouldn't that be fun? You know, I don't know. Press week. I think that would be a cool thing to do. Yeah, obviously two personalities. I think it could be a great fight. Bobby Green, you know, he's like Nate Diaz, so in his fighting style. So I'd love to see that fight. Moving on, Benon Saint-Denis versus Paddy Pimblett. What a fight. Benon Saint-Denis, obviously, like he is the BMF of the lightweight division right now. He's a scary dude. Two lightweight rookies coming up. We're going to see which one is going to be catapulted to stardom. Obviously, Paddy Pimblett, if he gets knocked out, it's going to be all over Twitter. The third fight of UFC 300, Paddy Pimblett's just been knocked out. Or we're going to have Benon Saint-Denis, you know, lose. And Paddy Pimblett, everyone's like, holy shit, Paddy Pimblett's actually a good fighter. He's actually a good fighter, my God. Moving on, we're going to go with Khalil Rountree versus Yuri Prochazka. Khalil Rountree, obviously, he's a fun fighter. I believe Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson bought him a house. You can market him off that, I think. I'm joking. Yuri Prochazka, it's his return. I think he pieces up Khalil Rountree, to be honest. I think Yuri Prochazka is going to win this fight, and I think we're going to have a fun fight. You know, we're going to have the samurai back. He's going to have a lot of fun in there. You know what? Let's just get the Reyes KO back just for UFC 300. Let's get a spinning elbow KO. Yeah, we need Yuri Prochazka back. We need the samurai back. What a way to return at UFC 300. Moving on to end the early prelims, we're going to go with Rose versus Andrade 3. You know what? It's been a good women's fight forever. Why not have it at, I believe it's at Flyweight now, where Rose and Andrade are now currently, or could be. Andrade can come back up, and I think that'll be a good fight because they're both one apiece, and you know what? Flyweight's an interesting way for either of them, so let's do that. Moving on. The opener of the prelims, Dan Hooker versus Rafael Fiziev. Great fight. Obviously, both coming off injuries. Rafael Fiziev has been injured. I believe it's to the leg. Yeah, it was to the leg. I know Dan Hooker's is to the arm. He broke his arm, so one of them both return at UFC 300. The battle of the injured. I think this is going to be a great fight. It's going to be a striking fight. You can't tell me this isn't going to be a great fight. I honestly believe that Dan Hooker has one of the best fights of the year. Tarantula versus Hooker. That was an awesome fight. Why not Fiziev versus Hooker? Let's get it done. He always makes fun fights when it's up in the top of the division. So yeah, let's do it. Moving on, massive rivalry. Manel Kape versus Kai Kara France. Manel Kape is versing, I forgot his name. He's in the co-main event of the first event in UFC, in the UFC next year. That's the Ankalaev versus Walker fight. He's the co-main event for it. I think he wins it. I think he turns around quickly. And I think we get the Kai Kara France versus Manel Kape fight, and it'll be awesome. And you know what? We like to see the CKB fighters fighting on the same card. So we have Dan Hooker and we also have Kai Kara France on the same card. So it would make sense. Moving on, Davison Figueiredo versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, I'm thinking about this and I think this is going to be a great fight because Davison, he doesn't have a fight currently. He's number 8, I believe. The top 7 all have fights. So give him Umar Nurmagomedov. If Umar wins, we have another Nurmagomedov coming up. Everyone knows his name. If not, if Davison wins, I think give him a number 1 contender fight. Give him something because right now, I don't think Figgy has a lot of options. I don't think he really wants Dominic Cruz, and I don't think he really wants Cody Garbrandt either. So I think you match up Cody Garbrandt and Dominic Cruz in a different event, maybe a fight night. Or you could do it on UFC 300. I don't believe it should be on there, but you know what? We could give it there, no matter what. But moving on. The end of the prelims needs to be a big fight. 2 pound-for-pound list fighters right now. Aljamain Sterling versus Max Holloway. It's a great fight. Everyone wants it. I don't want to see Max Holloway go up to lightweight. Although, everyone wants him to go up, I don't think he has a lot of good matchups there. Besides Gaethje, but I don't see him fighting Gaethje. I think Gaethje's going to wait. Especially after Islam's comment about him wanting Gaethje first. I think we're going to get Aljamain Sterling versus Max Holloway. I think this is a good fight. It's an interesting fight. I want to see how Aljo does at 145. And, Max, he's a great fighter, and he's a fun fighter, and he's a great fighter to have on UFC 300. He's going to bring the energy, especially to the press conference if he's there. It'll be fun to have him there. Moving on. The opener of the main card. This is going to be controversial because it is an insane opener. Khamzat Chimaev versus Paulo Costa. This is a fight. This is a fight that I want. It's a massive rivalry. They hate each other. Why not settle it at UFC 300? Khamzat Chimaev is a scary dude, and he's he's so entertaining. And him in America, let's just say, I'll say this now. Khamzat in America is way better than he is in Abu Dhabi. I don't know, Abu Dhabi makes him really respectful. When he comes to America, he doesn't give a shit. He is off the rails, and it's bloody awesome. And same with Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa's off the rails at all times, but I think this is going to be a great fight to start out the main card. Moving on. Colby Covington versus Wonderboy Thompson. Wonderboy Thompson obviously was called out in the post-fight press conference. They're two ranked fighters in the welterweight division. I think Wonderboy can win. And I want this fight for Wonderboy because I just watched Leon Edwards beat Colby. I think Wonderboy has better takedown defense than most fighters. He hardly gets taken down, and if he does get taken down, he's never been submitted besides Shavkat, and that's Shavkat. I think he could win this fight, and I want to see Wonderboy win. He's at the end of his career. He's 40 years old. Let's see Wonderboy, the nicest man on earth, versus the prick of the world. Let's see Wonderboy knock out Colby, or maybe Colby wins in a boring decision. But I'm willing to take that chance. I think it's a good fight. Moving on. Okay. I've been thinking about this fighter for a little while now. He's been doing quite well. He deserves a shot against a top 5 opponent, and Dustin Poirier, you better take this. Arman Tsarukyan versus Dustin Poirier is a great fight. It's a great fight. I think Arman could win this. I think Arman is the next coming off the lightweight division. I watched the fight with Islam. It's a close fight, but obviously I think Islam beats him in the second fight, but Dustin Poirier needs to go. I'm sick and tired of him. He hasn't taken any fights. Justin Gaethje took the Fiziev fight. He took the out of the top 5 fight. Dustin Poirier hasn't done it yet. Let's do it with Arman. That's going to get you to the title if you beat Arman, so take it. I think it's a good fight, and it'll be fun to have him in the press conference because we'll have Kobe in the press conference. We'll have Dustin in the press conference. Wonderboy there. Khamzat and Paulo already. Oh my God, there's so many fighters. So many great fighters there. Moving on, I got Usman versus Robert Whittaker. Now, I know what you're saying, didn't Chimaev just beat him? Why is he below the card? I don't really know how to arrange this because I actually think this is a better fight to have up there than Paulo versus Khamzat. But yeah, no, I like this fight better. Usman versus Robert Whittaker is a really interesting fight. Both coming off losses. 2 fun fights. Let's get it done. Let's have that fight. Usman, both of them the previous title holders. I think we've been waiting for this fight forever now, and yeah, let's get it done. And if one drops out, remember, Wonderboy beat Robert Whittaker. Why not have a Wonderboy versus Robert Whittaker fight as well? We could always do that, but let's just stick with the Usman versus Robert Whittaker fight. I think that's an interesting fight. Let's get Usman back in the win column, or let's get Robert back in the win column. Either one winning is going to be fun. It's going to be good. We all know the main event. It's going to be Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. What I will say, we could poison Michael Chandler on fight week, and we could get Colby or Dustin or, I don't know, Wonderboy to come on and replace him. You know, we never know, but yeah, that's what I think UFC 300 is going to be. That Wonderboy versus McGregor fight would be awesome. 2 karate stance fighters. Oh, nah, but they like each other, so it wouldn't be terrible. Anyway, UFC 300, obviously, massive card. This would be a great card. Like, I'd be watching from the start to end. I think all UFC experts, all UFC non-casuals are going to love this card from top to bottom. I think casuals could love this from top to bottom as well. If you watch each fight like a main event, yeah, like you're gonna be having, you know, you're gonna be happy with everything here. But yeah, I cannot wait for UFC 300. Let me know what you guys think UFC 300 could be. I think I got a few fighters on this card that couldn't fight. I think there's like 2 that I know. I think there's gonna be issues with them fighting, but. You guys let me know what you think. Who do you think should be the co-main event of the evening? I can't pick. But yeah, let me know. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.